Guys, how you doing? Brains Professor back at it again. Glad you could stop by. I just wanted to share with you some classic, just old school fragrances and aftershaves that I currently enjoy that are under $15 or so. And that's really saying something nowadays because as we all know, prices on everything have really gone up, including fragrances that you can pick up online at your favorite fragrance discount site. So, when I have something on the shelf that I like and, I can pick up and don't have to worry about how many sprays or squirts that I use, then that's one that I'm going to enjoy maybe even a little bit more. So these are ones, again, that I just enjoy. I'm not really going by, season of the year or anything like that. That's really very subjective anyway. But these are just ones that I currently enjoy a lot, wear quite a bit, and are under about $15. So let's get into it. The first one that I'm going to share with you is Tabac from Maurer and Wirtz. This is an EDC, an eau de cologne, okay? And this is a spray, but it's just a very nice, clean, and it really, the term barbershop gets tossed around a lot nowadays, but it really does remind me of sort of your old school barbershop. Now, this is a smaller bottle. I don't know, let's see, it's 1.7, so not that small. I believe that's 50 milliliters. But this can be had for under $10 on either FragranceNet or Fragrance X or anywhere that you like to pick up your fragrances. But this is one that I enjoy a lot. I like to wear these at night when I get out of the shower primarily. These are ones that, they don't have a lot of staying power, these EDCs, and I have several on the shelf, but they will just sort of, give you that that boost and just kind of put you in the frame of mind to relax and, just sort of wind down for the evening. And so that's why I like these kind. And these are not ones that I typically would wear during the day, primarily, as my, let's say, my main fragrance of the day, my scent of the day, if you will. But I do like these types, especially after I take a shower. Okay, so that's Tabac. Next one up, and now this is really an old school one that I found actually at Walmart. I'm going to show you the bottle. This is of course Old Spice. This is not a splash. Okay, now years ago, and you may remember this growing up, or you may have used this yourself, but Old Spice used to come in a splash bottle, and I think it still does. However, this is a squirt, and so that's why I picked this up. This is a spray bottle, and it really does smell nice. I had a splash bottle years ago, and I never really used a whole lot of it just because I was relatively inexperienced in the fragrance game. This was probably more than 25 years ago, 27, 28 years ago now, if I remember, late 90s. And I had a bottle, splash bottle. It may have been an aftershave, actually, and never got too far with it. Left most of it unused, I'm guessing. But I'm looking for the concentration. This is also an eau de cologne, an EDC. And I think this is one that you will enjoy if you like old school fragrances at all. I believe you will enjoy this. It is $8 or $9 if you pick it up at one of your local retailers. So I did not buy this online. I just picked it up at my local Walmart. And it's one that I do reach for every now and again that I really get a kick out of. And I can always count on. And I'll tell you, the scent is not bad. It is actually quite good. It's just a very spicy, very masculine sort of scent. It just screams old school, screams tradition, etc. I believe this was launched, if I'm not mistaken, in the 1930s. So it's been a while. Old Spice EDC, okay, spray bottle. And by the way, several of these that I'm going to share with you today are just these little plastic bottles, okay? So don't expect anything fancy. They're just little plastic bottles. But, the juice is really kind of what counts, right? The next two I'm going to share with you are also plastic bottles. Now, these are true aftershaves, okay? And I'm going to share both of them with you. just because I have both and I enjoy both. One I've probably enjoyed a little bit more than the other, and you can probably see the difference in what I've used. Now, this is it's called Clubman Pinaud Reserve. Clubman Pinaud Reserve. This is just a true aftershave, and that's what is written on the bottle there. You see that? This is called Whiskey Woods. And now they have a whole line, and I don't have any more of these. When I use one or both of these, I'll probably get some different ones. I think there are probably 5 or 6 out, including the original. But Whiskey Woods is one that I really have enjoyed. You can see I'm running sort of on the last third of that. This is called Sweet Rum, and I've not gotten quite as far with that one. I really do kind of prefer this one for whatever reason. They're both good. The Sweet Rum I've not quite used as much. Now, I will tell you, with a true aftershave, the concentration of fragrance oil, the scent is not going to be that long lasting. It really just sort of evaporates probably after about 5 or 10 minutes at the most. But it's really designed, for, as the name would suggest, to be put on after you shave. And so what I'll do, I use this one about every day, and this one maybe every once in a while. But I'll, after I shave, I'll put on some facial lotion and then let that be the final touch, just to sort of tighten everything up. So these, both of these, and I would imagine the other ones too, in the Clubman Reserve or Clubman Pinaud Reserve line, can be had for $7, $8, $9. I got these for under 10, if I remember correctly. All right. Next up, this is also an eau de cologne. Now, this is 4711. You probably recognize this and probably are familiar with this. At least, you've heard about it. It's one of the oldest fragrances out there, really. It can trace its roots to the 1700s, I believe, or maybe the early 1800s. It's one of the first true modern day men's fragrances, actually. And they have several in the line, this 4711 line. But this is, I believe, the original. It is an EDC. Now, it's a glass bottle, but I will show you it's actually a splash, okay? So you see that. And I do use this occasionally. Now, it's a very light, very refreshing. It's truly a summertime fragrance. They say, and I don't know if this is true or not, or if this is just urban legend, but they say that this was the fragrance that Napoleon of France enjoyed wearing. So don't know if that's true. That would place it, in the early 1800s. I've heard that in several places, read that. Don't know if it's true, but you can, do your own research and come to your own conclusion. But this was super cheap as well, under $10. Now you can really get a huge bottle of that for probably not that much more. But I went with the smaller. I believe this is also a 1.7 ounce or 50 milliliter. And I've gone through a good bit of that. I don't reach for this a whole lot, you can see. But when I do, I really, I don't mind applying pretty liberally. But now that we're in warm weather, I probably will be reaching for this quite a bit more. And, it's one that you can really count on to sort of, give you that boost or just, that citrusy, sort of make you feel fresh and that sort of thing. So 4711 is another great one. I'll end with this one. This is sung from Alfred sung Homme. And this is a relatively recent pickup, maybe in the last 4 or 5 months. I came across it because, I was sort of on this quest to sort of finish out my collection of old school fragrances and just trying to pick up ones that I didn't have and I had never really smelled. This was also super cheap. It was right at about that $15 mark. Now I've read, this is not that old. I think it dates back to maybe the 90s. But I have read that, the first iterations or the first formulations of this were very, very strong. It was very, very potent, it seems. And again, I never had a bottle before. This is my first. I will say that it's very similar in my estimation to Irish spring soap. That's really what comes to my mind. So it's very refreshing. Smells really nice. It's very inoffensive. It's going to have you smelling great. It smells just really nice, but it really does bring to my mind Irish Spring soap, if you're familiar with that. And there's a touch of spice in there that maybe Irish Spring doesn't quite have. So I'm getting that spice, but it's so similar to that in just the overall composition that, if you like that kind of smell, then I'm sure you would like this. And I've gone through a pretty good bit of that, you can tell. And again, this is one that I'll reach for, I wouldn't say, that often, but maybe once a week or so if I'm trying to maybe rotate through. I'll grab this, especially after a shower or something like that. And I know that, I'll be smelling good for the remainder of the night. And it's not one that's going to be, overpowering. So Sung Homme is a great one. Not the beast that it may have been in the 90s, but certainly one that smells great and is extremely affordable, and one that, may have a bit of a story behind it. So this is called Sung Homme, S-U-N-G, from Alfred song. Okay, now this is an EDT, I believe, and I was trying to look. This seems like a much bigger bottle. I'm going to guess it's probably 3.4 ounces, your traditional 100 ml. But I don't see that. But I'm thinking it's an EDT in terms of concentration. I don't believe it's an EDP, and I don't think it's an EDC. So we're going to call it EDT anyway. There we go. So that's the last one I wanted to share with you. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Those are a few that I enjoy that are super cheap and, generally have some age, have, a bit of a story behind them, and ones that I'm hoping maybe you'll enjoy as well. Let me ask you a question. Do you wear any that are similar to this, or do you have any ones that you'd like to share that are similar to this? Cheapies that will leave you smelling great, regardless of the time of year. Love to hear about them. Drop me a note down below. And if you're not yet subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe as well. All right, guys, that will do it. Hope you enjoyed it. I will catch you in the next video. All right, take care. Bye-bye.